Welcome to Mindfully with Tumishe, the podcast that invites you to explore mental health with honesty, compassion, and openness. Each week, your host, Tumishe Oladapokuku, shares personal stories and stories from people like you. Together, we'll confront mental health myths and build a space where imperfection isn't feared but embraced. From self-esteem struggles to relational conflicts, we're here to discuss it all, with guidance from experts and real raw stories that inspire healing. It's time to live mindfully. It's time to be compassionate with ourselves and each other. Mindfully with Tumishe, new episodes every week, available wherever you listen to podcasts or at blackimages.com.
Okay. Mindful Partners, we're still celebrating Men's Mental Health Month. We started with a conversation with Alicia Solalua, who set the tone for how society has conditioned masculinity last week. And then we brought back Dr. Abayomi's conversation to help us understand the language around mental health conversations. Today, we continue to explore men's language in the mental health space by exploring the use of language as storytelling. Sometimes a book arrives disguised as a story. This particular book, I don't want to give it away, but I'll try very hard. Only to reveal itself as a conversation about identity. And this book actually does that, about family, about healing, and the things we inherit. And if you've been a mindful partner for long, you know that I've always talked about family of origin and how we pass over patterns without realizing it. And that is what this book and maybe the author did for me. Today we're exploring My Mrs. Solomon. Yes, you heard that. My Mrs. Solomon, A Man's Quest for True Manliness by Ulutumbi Ito. Welcome.
Good to meet you. Thanks for the time.
It is a pleasure. So, at first glance, this book seems to be about a man, the story of a man. Yeah. Underneath it, I found questions about fatherhood. I found questions about friendship, about marriage, emotional silence, parental influence, and all the works. And before we go ahead, can we talk about the not so big elephant in the room? Our names. Can we talk about our names? I'm Ulutumbi and you are Ulutumbi. How weird is that?
It is weird, and I'm sure for different reasons.
Yeah.
Thank you again for this opportunity. Just fantastic to get to know you.
Yeah.
And fantastic following. I've followed your work, and I think yes, you're doing good. And there's relevance in this. I believe also that whatever we do in life, we should be able to impact other people positively.
Definitely.
Our names, coincidence, but good. In the sense that, I'm the first boy. And again, it shows you a bit about the tradition of our people. So everybody before me in my family are girls. So this boy then was born, and my dad thought, Ulutumbi, I've got this,
really?
and
I think
that's fine. What did you say?
Are you Ondo?
I'm from Lagos State. I'm from Ikorodu.
Oh, really? Okay, from Ikorodu. Okay. I'm the first child and the only girl.
Well, okay.
I'm the first child and the only girl. And Ulutumbi is the only name I have.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's so similar, though.
Yeah. So for non-Yoruba speakers, the best way I can explain Ulutumbi and Ulutumbi is Ulutumbi means God is in the business of repairing and restoring funny. That's the only way I can.
That's
That's what
near
the
literal.
meaning.
Yeah,
That's the literal meaning of
Ulutumbi will mean the same
yeah.
thing. God has given me a new birth.
New
Or
birth.
God has given me something. So
Yeah.
it's all a narration of renewal.
Yeah.
Rebirth.
Oh, so beautiful. So, and then we're talking about the story that it is my duty as a broadcaster to say some parts of the story might trigger, but Tumbi and Tumisha are here to hold your hands through it. So before we start, let's just settling with our body, taking a deep breath and let it go. You know why I do that all the time? Because when the body settles, you can accept the story. So, my first question will be, what was the conversation that you hoped this book would start?
I really, really wanted to look at three things. Priorities, mental health challenges in men.
Okay.
We all know that men don't talk. It's not the show of strength. Men are supposed to be tough, they're supposed to be the hunters, the guys that are going to bring the food in. And also abuse. But I need to say something here that while we look at abuse, without de-emphasizing abuse on women and girls, which we must retain at the highest level of priority and not diminish it at all, it also goes on with boys and men. Right. But they don't talk. Okay? And it goes on. And also it's this ability, I like to challenge the way we view our Christianity sometimes. Yes, I understand it's good to sort of go in there and listen to the pulpit and let it talk, but I just think that a true reflection of what God wants from us is what we do outside the walls of the church, not within it. We just go in there to learn. It's when we go out there. And
okay, so let me stop you there. Do not edit yourself, especially when you're talking about the church. Just go.
Let's go for it.
Yeah, just go. Don't edit yourself. It's okay. It's okay. All right.
It's so insular that sometimes we forget that it's about the entire Jesus journey is a journey of empowerment. It's a journey of questioning. It's a journey of saying to people, talk. And we could cite a lot of instances like this. I mean, for instance, look at when Jesus said to his disciples, guys, these people say this who I am. Some people are saying this who I am. Others are saying this who I am. Who do you say I am? You guys have been following me for quite a while. Have you challenged it? Have you really sat down to question this guy in front of you? And, so it in fact challenges us to question. So, and I think that, as we go forth, what I try to do in the book is to look at, there is no shame in questioning. There's no shame in showing fear. In fact, there's no shame in asking for help. Okay. That's the whole idea.
Essence. All right. Why was it important? Why was Rimi's story important to tell?
Okay. COVID happened to everybody.
Because that's how the book starts. Rimi finds himself in the middle of COVID, and then boom. Yeah.
There were some lockdowns that were like, wow, real lockdown, I'll tell you something. And I'm going to try to be vague here, simply because I want to shield the identity of this person. They don't even know. So we were in an institution learning.
Right.
I'm not going to tell you whether it's secondary.
It's fine. It's fine.
And this guy, we were just talking as guys do. We just sat down, we talking. And he came in. I think we were having drinks and everyone was laughing, all boys. And he said, oh, by the way, I remember when he was in boarding school, and this senior was regularly abusing him. Considerably.
Like sodomizing completely.
Yes. Guess what we all did? We all laughed. We all just, and he laughed also. He did that. We're all teenagers, it's not what guys do, and that was it. Think about a lot of things, during this COVID period, and looking at, my mind just so
full,
busy. And I thought about him a lot. And I thought, was that a point in his life when he wanted to say something?
Right.
Was that an opportunity to say, guys, I need
help,
support? I just, and I remember we laughed, and I mentioned this in the book.
Yes, yeah.
We laughed, and he laughed.
And then shut down.
Yeah, and I thought at that point he was laughing at his stupidity for even talking, or what seemed to be stupidity. What seemed to be, because if it was a girl saying that to boys, the hold her like an egg. It's what girls do.
Everybody goes in arms, yeah.
Everybody goes in, but even if it was perhaps a guy saying that to girls, they probably have supported more. But boys to boys, no, you're not. So that was what sort of started me thinking, okay. And then we had stories of men just, I've worked quite a while, And I remember I was in, I've been in situations where men just, there's a train coming and they just jump in front of the train. And that's it.
Wow.
Nobody knows why. You're fine, And it's all about talking. It's all about saying that, look, I need support, and there's no shame in it, And there was something else that happened under COVID. There's I'm not a social media person really, and I saw a video that came in, and there's this actor, a Nigerian actor, and I've forgotten his name completely now. And he did a short stint, about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes, on men, just talking. It was very powerful, and I thought, okay.
I think that would be Michael Ejiofor or something. I think when dark guy who, yeah.
I'm sure I'm going to remember his name before we finish.
I think it's Michael, because Michael, that was this is going on 2 years now that he did that video.
Yeah, it's a longer video. Is it Etim something or something?
Oh, Daniel Etim?
I will remember before we finish.
Yeah.
And it's just that was so powerful a video, and I thought, that makes a lot of sense. And I've been thinking about it over and over for a long time.
Yeah. All right. So what you just said to me now takes me to the writer of the book. My Mrs. Solomon. A man's quest for true manliness. Now, a spoiler for everyone who's going to read this book. The person you think is Mrs. Solomon is not Mrs. Solomon, even like me. So, yes, trust me, whoever you thought Mrs. Solomon is going to be, that's not the Mrs. Solomon. That's the only thing that's the only spoiler I'm going to give you. So, what then does, if you were going to say manliness, masculinity, what does it mean to Tumbi?
It means having the courage to ask for help if necessary.
If necessary. Why did you have to use if?
If it's not, if you need help, ask. Okay. That is the whole idea, because what happens usually, and what we tend to underestimate is that it takes more courage to ask than to pretend. And if you really want to show that you're strong and that you love yourself and that you love the wife, you love the kids, you love your family, ask. That is a display of strength, unimaginable strength.
Gotcha.
That is true masculinity.
Sometimes clarity comes in silence. Other times, it takes a gentle nudge, a conversation, a question, or a pause you didn't know you needed. That's what BHM coaching at Black Images offers. Not a fix, not a formula, but a space. One where your story is safe and your growth doesn't have to look like anyone else's. You can begin with a free discovery session. Just 30 minutes to breathe, reflect, and maybe, if you're up for it, sit with guided meditation. If life feels loud and you need support now, there's mindful coaching on the go. Short, focused check-ins that help you stay grounded when things feel shaky. For deeper shifts, there's the Journey to Being, a mindful exploration shaped by the framework from the book Living Mindfully, A Journey to Being. This isn't about perfection. It's about presence. And if you're someone who needs steady hands over time, the monthly and community plans are there, offering consistent support that grows with you. Visit blackimages.com when you're ready, not to be fixed, but to be seen.
So on the background of that, let's piggyback on that and say, what is your perception of the interpretation or cultural perception of the cost of performative masculinity?
Okay. Now, it's more of a philosophy. Okay. So what is... Yeah.
Okay.
We might be having
a degree in philosophy. Come on. It's all right. Let's go.
I'm really trying. I'm really trying to, So when we talk about, men, women, gender, that's the difference there.
That's the gender that we know.
That's the gender difference. Now, we're looking at who is this male, the alpha, the alpha, the alpha male, the guy who, walks into a room and, personally, the guy who walks in there doesn't have a problem. Everything is good. Home good, work good, gym good, social life good, everything good, perfect, is a mirage.
Okay. It's a mirage. Really?
It is, really. Unless you don't live in the truth, in the world, we all have,
you don't live in the truth.
we need support. And that is why you find out that there's a comment that Rhythm's wife made where they had a conversation.
Yeah. Was it at Ria's age? I can read it out to you, but go ahead.
when he eventually told Ria what happened.
Okay.
And
go ahead, please. Yeah.
And Ria, and you could see that at that point, he even thought that he'd failed. Because he had to tell her everything that happened to him. And then he asked a question at the end. Now, what do you think of me? What do you think? What's your truth?
Yeah. Do you still love me?
Yeah. What do you think? And that is why, sometimes.
So let me read that to you. Let me read that part to you. Don't worry. I got you. I told you I marked it. I got you. So after he tells the story, you have to go and get the book, sorry. But after he tells the story of everything that happened, and then he goes, "What do you really think of me, Ria?" He asked when They got into bed as if he needed some validation. She looked him in the eyes, and for the first time in weeks, she saw him, the fear, the guilt, and the uncertainty of what would become of him if he found out about the story. She wondered how he had lived all these years carrying such heavy burdens. Rhea reached for his hand and brought it to her lips before holding it against her face. Sweetheart, you are more of a man to me now than any other time.
And this is the point, you see. She realized the strength, the courage it must have taken him to say that. That is a man for you. However, having said that, either man or woman, we are as good as those that surround us.
Oh, yeah. Say that again, please. Yes. Say that again. We are as good as those who surround us.
Yes. Yes. At that point, Rhea's response to him would have made or broken him completely.
Yep.
That would have been that would have been it. But she realized. And that's why it is so, you wouldn't know anybody in total until you get close to them. But due diligence is good. Prayer is good. The people that you surround yourself with, it's like I was saying to somebody the other day, when Jesus turned water to wine, and they were looking at, what should we do? What should we do? What should we do? And they asked his mom, and he said, you know what? Just ask him what you need to do. Fill jars. They found a solution to it. And I asked the person, I said, just think a minute. Who do you invite to your party? Who do you invite into your life? People who, when there's trouble, when there's challenge, when there's something, they gather together to find a solution. Or people who just sort of say, "Oh, well, that's your lot, man," and go somewhere else. What is the quality of the people who surround you, and do that? So Rhea was so pivotal to that, in that, and it made him, that partnership made him.
Yeah. Can I give you a lens though? The relationship was beautiful between Rhea and Rini. But this is me jumping, but it's fine. It's a question that was supposed to come later. But
okay.
Since we're talking about Rhea and Rimi now, I think that Rhea's circle were more pivotal into the role that she eventually played. Because if they had not told her to go for some counseling and getting help on how to help him when he comes back psychologically, because Rhea is a worry girl. Oh, maybe she goes kata.
Yes. Right? Yes, you're correct. You're very correct. You're very correct.
Yeah.
In fact, I think at the point she said she was going to kill him.
I'm going to kill him myself. Yeah, that was her first response. I'm going to kill him myself. Yeah.
But again, you're correct. And what it does is to validate that point I just made now, that the people you surround yourself, you as an individual might be going completely mad, crazy and stuff like that. The people around you who are true friends, who are true, associates, true people around you should be able to keep you, in a place of, a sanity, at that point, which is what his friends did. And perhaps you might understand, you might understand that more. There's, it's not a sequel really, but there's another book.
Love Me For Me?
There's another book that
is that Loving For Me?
No. It's called Unveiling the Hair. Unveiling the Hair.
Unveiling the Hair. Oh,
yeah, that sort of goes a bit more into the relationship that these girls have, and other things.
Really? Oh,
yeah, and other things also, but and even their parents. But on this particular thing, and you could see how that support gave Rimi the courage to open up and become more vulnerable. And it's eventually what gave him the courage to even speak out.
Oh. Okay. Well, people are wondering, what are these two people saying? Don't worry, we'll talk about it. Like I said, I'm trying to manage the trigger points that this conversation might bring. But in summary, my Mrs. Solomon, A Man's Quest for True Manliness, is a story of a young man who is trying to come in terms with his 11-year-old self through secondary school and sexual molestation by someone who was very trusted. All right. That being said, let's get back to the conversation. Now, what you said about the people around us and all of that, and performative masculinity and all of that, takes me to. I ask almost all men that come to my table this question. Do you think that men have a wide vocabulary vocabulary enough to properly identify and label their emotions?
Life moves fast, sometimes too fast. If you're looking to slow down and reconnect with yourself, Living Mindfully, A Journey to Being by Ulutumbi Ito might be what you need. It's part memoir, part guide, an honest, deeply personal story about navigating life's noise with intention. Ulutumbi shares lessons from her own journey through struggle, reflection, and healing, with a voice that's equal parts vulnerable and wise.
It felt like she was speaking directly to me, raw, real, and quietly powerful.
Get your copy wherever books are sold, or visit blackimages.com to begin your journey. Living Mindfully, A Journey to Being. Slow down, breathe, begin.
No. And simply because men need to be helped. Women are better at doing that, not because they're weaker. It's just that you use the right word. They have the words, they have the narrative to be able to say it emotionally and ask for that help. However, but on top of that, society hasn't helped.
True.
Society has painted this picture that every man must be an atlas. You must be strong enough. You must be able to
rewind. Stop.
Yes.
Repeat.
Yeah.
Every man must be an atlas.
Yes. So that the entire world, you have to lift it on your shoulder, not knowing that under Greek mythology, Atlas was cursed to do that. But the whole idea is that you put this thing on your shoulder. You're going, you're really struggling, but society is hailing you. Yes, that is a true man. When this guy slips and falls, it's that same society that points, laughs, and jests at him
and says, "Why didn't he say something?
Why didn't he say something? Or he wasn't strong enough, or he was doing something equipped for." But like I said, your answer, your question is very, very relevant, because I think by our very nature, we're not really equipped as women to be able to do this. And that's why we need to be helped. And that's another salient point in this book, that as a woman, we are really helped, Remy, by lending him the words, the narrative,
the language, the vocabulary,
the language that is needed.
And I think if we can step out of psychology and philosophy for a bit and go theology, that is exactly what the help meet means. Before the curse, before Genesis 3, Genesis 1 and 2. That is what, to be able to give the man the voice. He was naming animals. He was not naming humans. And the only thing that he said when even, this woman, the flesh of my flesh, and then life continued, So, okay, before we become pastors here.
Yes.
At this point, I must confess,
yes,
that as a Yoruba girl reading my Mrs. Solomon, And of course, as a survivor myself, Remy constantly worrying about Esla kind of gave it away for me. When kind of gave it away, like he's afraid, he's imagining, okay, so am I going to ever let Esla step out? Am I ever going to, when she turns 11, what's going to happen? Again, that is me, So my question is, before I go to the real question, my question is, what happens to you men when you have your children? What goes on? Help us here.
Yeah, and especially girl children.
Yeah.
Men will guard them jealously.
With life.
With anything, They'll buy anything. They'll buy guns. They'll buy dogs. They'll buy, cutlass, anything. But you see, what I think happens is that because men, like we said, by nature, we don't talk. We internalize a lot of things. That is changing because there's more awareness now that it's not weakness, it's courage. But if you look at Remy's instance, things happened. And things that happened were quite profound.
Very.
I mean, it wasn't just, it was different layers.
It wasn't just sexual molestation.
Yes. It was
outright, dehumanizing.
Yes. And in fact, nobody really saved him. It was only because work happened and it took the abuser away. Otherwise, it would have continued. Yeah. So he went into himself. From then on, he couldn't talk to his friends, couldn't do anything. And then when he was able to, he thought that he had conquered it. He got a good wife, he got into a relationship. Rhea was probably was his first good relationship.
Yeah. The relationship was just so sweet, really.
And then they had Esla. And from the moment they had Esla, the fear was there. Will what happened to him happen to Esla? And on top of that, Esla is a girl.
Is a girl.
And that was
so he's looking at his head. He's looking at himself, saying, "Oh, as a boy, no one believes. For a girl, it's if the possibility is higher
of that." Now, the point within all of this is that he had already found himself guilty for Esla. Because if anything should happen, something like that should happen to Esla, it's not going to be Esla's fault, it's going to be his. That is why, even if he smells something, if he sees a door that is painted a color that reminds him, if he sees an older person, it just reminds him that he needs to guard Esla. He needs to do that. Now, I tell you what, if Esla if he had done everything he should have done as a father, and Esla still fell into something like that, he would not hold Esla responsible. He would have held
himself. He would still hold himself.
Yes.
Whew. So you know what? I'm quiet. Like people are going to you're very quiet on show today. Yeah, I'm quiet because it's taking me to places, and I'm trying hard so that we do not talk. Number one, not give too much away about the book, and also not trigger people. But most importantly, I want us to also, highlight things that the book is small. Let me see the book. I read it in an hour, by the way.
Yes. Yeah.
I read it in an hour, so it's just 107 pages. I read it in an hour, and I must be honest that while I was walking with Remy in this book, my focus was more on the relationships around him.
Yeah,
and from Anu the chef, from Anu the chef to the friends to Ria's crew to Remy's in-laws versus Remy's parents, and please hear me out. Hear me.
Okay.
For me, because of where I'm coming from, these things are very, very, very important. It's as if Ria's parents were the gifts Remy's parents weren't to him.
Okay.
They were more aware.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily because they were exposed or anything, no.
Mm-hmm.
But Ria's parents were more aware, and while it looks as if they were a close-knit family and all of that, you notice, maybe you didn't notice because you wrote it, but you notice that Ria's parents were more accommodating.
Yeah.
They were more, do you understand? They were more willing to give grace.
Yeah. Yeah.
Other than his parents. And I really wanted to pull my hair. Like, can't you see that your in-laws are saying something? And that the relationships are, and I must, I know you say that, but I must tell you this is how I felt. When I read the book, this is how I felt about Mrs. Solomon's wife, and Mrs. Gok.
Okay.
Mr. Solomon was either unconsciously or deliberately thinking that, because there's no how you would not know, because I don't think Remy was her first. No, I don't think so. Probably, and probably that's why, again, please pardon my creative reading.
Yeah, okay.
It's probably why he goes on missions, so that he doesn't have to face what his wife has become.
Okay.
Again, that's to Michelle reading.
Okay.
I don't know what you wrote to, but that is me. That is me reading. Okay. And again, the Remy's mother I'm advocate for parenting, right? Child-led parenting, to be honest. And that came from my mom. Like you said, we'll have this conversation after.
Yeah.
I think that Mrs. Gok was not very in tune with her child.
Okay.
And that also reflected with Remy's sister, who decided, you know what, I'm not having this. I'm not going to come near you guys. And then she just stays in Ghana and stays there. So that is my interpretation. What did you write?
I think okay. You know what? It's written in a way that should motivate questions like this, and also address them. Remy's mom played a central role in this. She was a church woman. Okay? Mm-hmm. If the pastor doesn't do it, nobody's going to do it. Okay? And she refused to compromise on that. Okay? Now remember that, in fact, the reason why, and I don't know let me know if I'm giving things away. The reason why she decided on where Remy will stay was because it was a pastor's house.
Yeah. Okay? You're not giving anything away. And it's going to annoy a lot of people, but yeah.
And for her, it's safe. Mm-hmm. Okay? All right, okay. Now, and that then lent some weight to Remy's hesitation. How does he go home and say this is happening? How will he tell his mom, who will not even listen? Right? I mean, if pastor is involved, and now it's not an indictment on pastors or anything like that. It's just to say that, look, sometimes what
people
we think
authority,
what we think sometimes as safety nets, we also need, no matter what it is, we need to do our due diligence. We need to be very, very sure of what we're doing, even if it's a relative. Mm-hmm. Now, and that led a lot of confusion to Remy, and he couldn't really handle it. He really couldn't handle it, Now, for Pastor himself, you could be right. Honestly, you could be. In my mind, the abuser knew his diary. He knew she knew what will happen, when it will happen, and how. and decided to take advantage. All right. So she was quite masterful in how she did this, Now, and she would do it without batting an eye.
Come on, she would lock him in a god shed.
Yes. And
I didn't cry, but
yeah, no.
I wanted to enter the book and really give her a piece of my mind. Come on, you just wanted to have fun. It's not. I can't even call that fun. You just wanted to do whatever you want to do with this boy, and he's saying no, and then you lock him in a good shed and not feed him for days.
Yeah, the boy is 11 when they started, and
throughout
the first time.
School.
Yeah. He's just young guy. He was tall for his age, but somebody read the book here and they told me that they just couldn't get past the woman. They just could not, And the first time, if you remember, the very first time that this happened, she was very sly. She had forgiven him. Imagine an 11-year-old boy in front of somebody of that age, stark naked. All of a sudden. And then almost immediately, guilt was imputed onto the boy. So therefore, from that moment on,
shame, guilt,
and everything. So from that moment on, he was always looking for a way for forgiveness. Although he never did anything wrong. Okay, and that it's a huge, and people think that it's and I tell you what, it's not something that is not happening in the world.
Yeah. Definitely.
It is happening, and that's the evolution of this. Yeah.
All right. So I'm wondering if I should take from my notes. I should just Yeah. But what I noticed is that, and I really did appreciate the fact that Remy and Ria had a relationship that they could come back from, no matter what. Yeah, they feel crazy for each other, blah blah blah. But they had a relationship where they could come back from. In these times where people are asking, what do you bring to the table? What is on the table and all that? Was that intentional to address that?
It is. I wish. Now, this is where I'm slightly confused, because in unveiling the hair, you understand more what their relationship was like. All right. Even before they got married,
Okay, so time to.
They were pally. They were good. They were really good friends. They are really good. Yeah. Ria is from quite affluent family.
Yeah, it's obvious. They were more. Yeah.
Yeah. And I will even say much more than Remy. But you wouldn't tell. They really got on. They got each other's back. They were good. So the relationship, the love was quite genuine. Okay. And then you've got Esla there also, which sort of bonded them together. So I think that relationship would have been good anyway, But at the point it happened, because there was no inclination that Remy was going to do what he did or try to do what he did.
Okay, so for those who are, again, not to give too much away from the book, so what Remy tried to do was he got on a ledge. He was on the 9th floor of a hotel in London. And Anu, who is the one who cooks Nigerian meals for him, had gotten to his house and was knocking, and then eventually got the house to open the door, and he was on the ledge ready to take his life, but what happened was Anu was able to go into his phone and saw Ria and Esla's picture, showed him, and it was at that point that they knew that, okay, this could work. And then Ria was caught. That's all I'm telling you.
That's thank you. Because I mean, who she did not even, she would not remotely have guessed that he was going to do something. Now, there was no reason to think that. I mean, they were good. He was always smiling. He was advising people. He was a mentor to people. So why would you think that somebody like that would want to take their own life? Just like that. So that surprised her a lot, but her mom just put everything down to
go stay with her.
Yeah.
And then and then she calls her friends and they do a quick conference video call, and and of course Mrs. Solomon, not Mrs. Solomon.
Mrs. Gok.
Miss Gok comes to the airport with her,
Yeah.
But I think if I'm going to say my best part of the book is how Ria's friends held her, so she could hold her husband.
Yes. Yeah. They were just there. They were good people. They understood each other. Bear in mind, these are people who have been friends since like 9 years old. They've been tied together. And look, they are not all Christians.
Yeah, I know.
I mean,
it's not even about faith now. It's about us showing up for one another.
Yeah. And they're strong for it. They live together, they grew up together, and they retain their values. And they were really there for them. And it's been a journey for Remy himself, and he realizes that, it's that hurdle of shame. No, it's not even shame, perceived shame, or imagined, or what somebody's like shame. It's not. And if there's something I'd like people to take from this book, is that it's not a shame to ask. There's no shame in it. Just ask. If you need help, ask for it.
Ask for it. Let's take a quick one here before we get to the final part of this. I really wish this conversation wouldn't end, but it has to end. But before we get there, wherever it is that you are, if you can close your eyes, close your eyes. If you can, it's okay. Soften your shoulders, soften your eyes, the hole between your ears. Whatever it is you're feeling it, breathe into it and let it go. Just let it go. It might not be easy, but let it go. You're stronger than you think. So, let's continue. Before we go into what I believe is the final part of this conversation, let's make a quick stop. It's that what I think is the most beautiful segue. It was so beautifully crafted in Equi, yes, Equi.
Equi, okay.
Yeah. And the story of Peter walking on water. And the lens the book gave me new. So this is one spoiler that we can give. Please talk about that for a bit.
Okay. Look, when I wrote it, and I was sort of on my laptop doing it, and my fingers were saying, Equi is a woman. He's coming in to advise and counsel Remy. And I'm thinking in my head, are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? This guy was, I said, do it anyway, and, I just, it's like your mind is saying to you, don't go down that, and then you just keep doing it, and, Remy saw her and thought, a woman, she came in, and I mean, instantly his mom didn't like her, Equi anyway. Because she's not a pastor.
We're not surprised.
She's
We're
not a
not surprised. Yeah, right.
And then they had this big argument about whether she goes to church or she was even
Whether
watching.
she goes,
She was trying to spy on her
online,
whether she would close her eyes when they are praying for food, And then Ekwe said, no, she doesn't, but she has faith. And then somehow the conversation went to Jesus walking on water. Because Mrs. Gok said that that's the God that she serves. And Ekwe was saying, yeah, that's true. It is true. But that she had read it, and that is that really what Jesus wanted us to learn from her? That question got her a bit angry. And she said, okay, why?
A bit? You say a bit.
And she said, look, this is her argument. Jesus is God. He created everything. He's all powerful. So he walks on water. Why do we then, as Christians, still go on as if it's a surprise? It shouldn't be a surprise to us. Does he really want us to focus on Peter and what he was able to do with Peter? That is where the parable is. And then they have an argument about what a parable is and what not a parable is anyway. But that is where the parable is, that he is able to confront his fears. He is able as an individual to walk on water. That is the thing. Walking on water is something, but in this instance, when you look at, and the way I thought I'd put it is that the things that Peter should have dealt with in that boat confronted him when he stepped out of it. But he couldn't confront it when he was in that boat. And the reason he could was because he was in a community of men. They would have laughed at him if you said he was afraid. They would have laughed at him if for any reason. So instead of, first of all, saying to Jesus, look, deal with this for me. He stepped in anyway. And those things then started to confront him. And he started to sing. But here's the good thing. While all the men were looking and trying to see whether Peter would do what men ought to do. Sing and keep his pride. Keep his manliness. He didn't do that. He turned to Jesus and asked for help.
Okay, so again, this is the only part that I'm going to give out. I'm going to read it out. Not everything, but just read that part. This is Ekwe speaking. This is Ria speaking after Ekwe had given, the background to Peter and the miracle or parable. It's like I not call it a parable because of you. It says, Ria says, are you saying then that it's not worth celebrating Jesus walking on water? And Ekwe replied, yes, it is worth it. However, not in surprise. He is God after all. The question then remains, is it his walking on water that he wants us to remember from this episode? Especially for us with hindsight. What's your point then? Rimi's mother asked. My point is that Jesus made Peter the star that day, giving us a lot to learn. Oh, but love that gone. I really love that. Ekwe. And do you, just a little bit of segue here, when you're talking about Ekwe, a woman coming to, the interesting thing is, I'm actually there. So, Mindfully Ulutumbi, this podcast will host only mental health conference in November.
Okay,
and only men, just today to come diverse. We'll get psychiatrists coming over to, and then the last hour of their down day, we just leave them to have a conversation. And gracefully, the two psychiatrists who have come in the two editions will stay to the end, really.
Good.
And they kind of have a group coaching or therapy session, which is always a highlight.
Yeah.
So when I knew I was supposed to do this, I was like, Emike, you know? But I understand the tension that you were feeling at that point. That a woman going to,
Yeah.
you know, because the conversation will not go like, oh, you feminize the man, you're, you know. So I understand that tension.
Yes.
So,
and for him also, the reason for all his struggles is a woman anyway.
Yeah.
Coupled with that, you know.
When I saw the title Mrs. Solomon, I'm not gonna lie, I thought Mrs. Solomon was going to be his wife. Until I got to Mrs. Solomon. But I think it's a double entendre because eventually Rhea becomes a wise Solomon.
A wise Solomon.
And then so if I was going to say, so if I was going to be in my creative space, I would say that my Mr. Solomon was Remy telling us about the two Solomons in his life, the Solomon that broke him and the Solomon, Mr. Solomon that broke him, and the Mr. Solomon that brought him back together.
Brought him there. Yes.
That's me, oh.
You know, and then, you know, sometimes you might want to ask some men, you know, it might be the synonym for it, you know, what is your Mrs. Solomon? Who?
Yeah, who? Yeah. And when is your when did your Mr. Solomon start?
Yes. You know.
Yeah.
So it's that, you know, just to allow men to talk, like, you know, like I said, you know, I'm not the trained, but I'm a philosopher. I study philosophy and law.
It's fine.
But you know, it's just something I have a passion for, and all the books, you know, there's hopefully. I
saw 4 of them on Goodreads, isn't it? 4 of now.
Yes, there's a very short series, which is For the Love of Me, and then you've got this, Miss Solomon.
You have the hair,
Unveiling the Air.
Yeah.
There's another coming, which is not yet released. Hopefully in another 3 weeks. Haven't sort of sorted out in my mind what the title for that is going to be.
I know. Trust me. I know exactly what you're saying. I've been writing and rewriting my second book for 2 years.
I know.
So I know exactly what you're saying. But we'll be here when it's. But I don't want us to go without addressing parental accountability.
Okay.
You know, I told you that was the only challenge bus stop I had. And, you know, after he had taken his power, and you know, all of them had understood, Ekwe had been able to bring them to a place of understanding, and then, Remy, yes, of course, his character arc is perfect. You know, he's totally in a good space and all that. And then it turns to his mom, "Mommy, do you remember Mrs. Solomon?" And then I saw the end. The end, how?
Okay. Okay, I hear you. I really hear you, you know. Yeah. And I think what you're trying to, what you sort of put in my mind is to do a sequel to this, but I might resist it. The reason is this. The reason is this. And I know you and I had which you did disagree with me. Is that I wanted it to be about really coming into his own. Mm-hmm. You know, he thought about it. You know, before he opened his mouth to talk, and that was the very first time, everybody was there. He could have grabbed his mom or grabbed somebody to go to a quiet corner and stuff like that. But now he was a different guy. there was his in-laws there. There were I think Ekwe was there.
Everybody was there. Everybody was there.
Yeah, immediate family was there. And just said, look, to the hearing of everybody, look, do you remember, facing his mom? And I think it was just to say that now he has arrived. He has.
I really wanted to see Mrs. Gok.
You wanted to see Mrs. Gok? Yeah, it would have been. Yeah, I know. Yeah, true.
Really wanted to see Mrs. Gok's face. Oh, mommy, that kind of a thing. Of course, too much of Yoruba in my.
You wanted to know how she was going to. I think that might. But don't you like it? Don't you like imagining it?
Oh, so for me, I knew the imagination was fast because I knew, like we had a conversation before, because I have a very, 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 very similar, I was like, who told this guy my story kind of thing, I knew what it meant literally, literarily, as a writer and all that.
Yeah.
But I was also reading as I was reading as a survivor, not just as a literary critic. I was reading, and I'm wondering of a person who is just starting on their journey to healing, and then they get to that point, and the person goes like, the mother did not. They didn't even tell us whether the mother was sorry or not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah. So yes, we know that he has come to himself. Yeah.
Perhaps if he had reported to his mother, and his mother had rebuffed him or something like that, then that might have. However, as a young child, you will see a difference in them, in their moods, in stuff like that, and you should ask questions, even like that. So I take your point,
She was just not attuned. She was just
she wasn't attuned.
She was more, and this is nothing against the faith. I'm a Christian, you're a Christian.
Yeah.
There's absolutely nothing against the faith. It's and when people read Ephesians 6, 1-3, they stop at 2. They don't get to the point where they say, do not annoy your children. You don't get to that point. They don't get to that point of do not annoy your child. So that is basically what, in fact, I think in Colossians 3, Paul also did say, do not put undue expectations on your children. These things are in the Bible, but no, parents stop at obey your father and mother, for this is the...
And then do not go
my goodness!
But it's there's so many layers to it.
A lot of layers.
I mean, I like what you said initially, that for those who read the book, there's layers of trust. There is the abuse is quite there. There's faith. There's this, parenting, like you said, so many.
There's so many layers. It's such a short book. The relationship with to be honest, the foundation to Remi's healing is the relationship to his wife.
Yes.
The foundation, he knew that, and that was why he asked that question. There are a couple of questions that he asked. The first one was, I didn't like to be alone.
Yeah.
The moment he came to that realization, I didn't like to be alone, and that I didn't like to be alone opened, a vortex of things that, and then it started this domino. And I must say, thank you for putting Ria's friends, making, helping her get ready for Remi's return. If we all had those kind of friends, I think we'd have a better world. Yes.
I mean, in an ideal world, yes.
Yeah.
What I would do, I hope I will make it available to you. On the air.
Okay.
You said something while we were talking that I think
that I would get clients
Yeah.
from there.
You get it.
Exactly.
You definitely get it there.
So
You know.
what's I have two last questions for you.
Okay.
Oh, you're supposed to play a game, but I have two last questions for you.
Yeah.
What do you hope men and women take away from this? Yeah.
It's just courage.
All right.
There's nothing wrong with you if you need help for any mental situation. Everybody has it. Everybody needs help. Everybody needs support. Please ask. For men, it's you display a lot of strength by asking
for help,
for support, for help. And for women, your man is a strong man. He's the strongest he is when he asks.
Repeats.
Your man is the strongest he is ever been when he asks for help. It takes a lot.
There are a lot of bites. This conversation should end, but
that's right.
So this is a writer to a writer question.
Okay.
If Remy was sitting across to you right now, what would you be telling him?
I would say good for you.
What do you mean? We are both Nigerians, so good for you is not necessarily.
That you have come to the point where you could just open your mouth to say what you said. The choices you made, wanting to do what you did, completely wrong, and it's only God that saved you. There's no reason for that. And I will say to Remy, now you are a value. You've become a value to people in the same situation. Use it to empower them. He's a different guy now. He's completely different because he's more powerful than ever he was. Because he's realized the power that he has within him, and he must not stop evolving. He must not stop making himself better. In whatever he does. And the thing with these things is that for especially when when nurturing younger kids, I said to somebody, when I was managing a team of about I don't know how many people, and there were managers, so I had a team with all the managers, and I said to them, look guys, if you have a team member that they joined your team timid, they were unsure, they were not full of confidence when they joined. But by the time they left your team, they knew the work very well. They could relay figures and everything out to you very well. But yet, mentally and emotionally, they're still not very confident and they're still afraid to come to work and stuff like that. I say, you as a manager, you have failed. Because you have not made a better person. Part of your job is, you see, when you're fearful to come to work, you are fearful. Full stop. Because you spend most of your time at work. You are a fearful person. Because how much time do you spend at home? Evening until morning and then weekend. The chunk of your time is at work. So people should not.
If you're in Lagos on the road to work.
Yes. People should not be working for you. They must be working with you. To the point that they must be not afraid of you, but afraid of disappointing you. That's just the whole idea. That's how you manage people, So, and I think that's what I would say to Rennie, that what he has learned, what God has
helped him to learn,
the opportunity to do, empower others with it. But don't stop the journey of empowering.
Because the journey of healing is a marathon. Something is going to happen and you're going to sell. Yeah. Thank you so much, Tumbi, for coming. But before you go, pick one of those cards.
Pick on the... Yes.
My right, your left, this? This one.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
This is so. Hold on, let me. This is so weird.
Can you read it
Fancy
out?
question.
I can read it. If you could go back in time, which one thing would you tell your
Myself.
That's amazing, that isn't it?
So weird.
I would say be less timid. That's what I would say.
You can ask me any question.
I think okay. If you were, what game do you like to play?
Monopoly.
Any sport?
I used to run, but I can't run anymore.
Okay, all right. Do you understand any team sport? Netball or football or...
I did play what's it called now? Volleyball in secondary school.
Okay.
And that is over 30 years ago.
Okay. Now, you used to run. If you were going to be in a team of runners, of people, athletes, what would you be? You have a choice, right? Would you elect to run, to train, or to just support with serving water?
Honestly, support with serving water.
Okay. Why?
I just love to serve.
That's straight up.
I just love to serve. Like I'd rather serve water and encourage the team than be it's the simplest question you like.
No, that's fine. That's good. Yeah.
I would just serve the water and allow the trainers do the training and I would just serve the water.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Timmy, for this conversation. I deeply, deeply, deeply appreciate it. So, where can we get the book?
The book is on Amazon. I think it's on I'll send it to you.
Yeah, because I need all the links so that we can add the show notes.
And I'll send it to you.
It's available
ebooks in Nigeria also. Yeah.
Okay. Just send me the link so that we can add to the show notes. And please, I have a copy of my Mrs. Solomon to give out. So, the best way to get that copy is to answer this question. What parable did we say was used in my Mrs. Solomon in man's quest for manliness? And if anything in this episode speaks to you, please give us a follow and share. That could give us a little bit more visibility. And thank you, of course, to Toby for being an absolutely perfect best production pal. Until next time, be kind to every man in your life. Love yourself, love your neighbor, love your country. Above all of this, love God. He is the essence of your being. I am Ulutumbi Ito. Kuku. Stay mindful.
Thank you.
This is Mindfully with Tumishe, brought to you by Black Images.